Well, I think it will be pertinent for us to go back to history a little. Historically, Gbagyi people were united. But because of some obvious reasons ranging from their culture and occupation, I think that led to a kind of disperse in search of greener pasture. Basically, a Gbagyi man is an agrarian man. And they are always in search of a fertile land so that they can plant their crops and rear their animals. So, of course, anybody that is into such kind of occupation, he need a vast and virgin land. And I think if I should be asked, why is it that we are in a kind of dispersed way, I think that should be the predominant factor responsible for that. Well, with the civilization, I could say we were able to bring ourselves together in the form of, saying, a town or a village. And you could see we have places like Kaduna, Birnin, Mina, Kuta, Abuja, Nasarawa, Karo, and the rest of them like that. People used to say Gbagyi people are not united. Honestly, sometimes I find it very difficult to agree. Because culturally, it is only a Gbagyi man that if something happens to his colleague, let's assume he happens to face an incident of inferno, his brother will bring a bunch of touches to assist immediately. If his colleague, for instance, is building a house, he will make sure he is represented in the construction of that particular house. For one to come up today and say we are not really united, I find it very, very difficult to understand. But in a way, they should have their reason for saying that. But what is responsible for that? I think the kind of education, because I attribute that problem to the elites. I attribute that problem to our elites. Our elites were able to acquire Western education. Our elites were able to acquire even Islamic education. Our elites were able to acquire even Christian knowledge. But instead of utilizing it judiciously to the benefit of their people, they digress. Instead of uniting us, before you know, we are disunited. Simply because it's either this person is a Christian, this person is a Muslim, this person is a pagan. But I don't think it's really helping matters. Because any other tribe has such kind of diversity. But yet, when it comes to unity, they talk with one voice. And that is what is expected of us. Basically, that is what is expected of us. Coincidentally, again, if you look at our culture, we have a very rich culture, ranging from the kind of food we eat. In fact, just look at Oje, that is tuwo in Hausa language. It is only a Gwari man that has a natural preservative for that tuwo. It is only a Gwari man that can produce tuwo and it will remain for the next 3-4 days without spoiling. Then, if you can have a preservative for something that you need for immediate consumption, what about others? Originally, you see our construction, we have silos where we are preserving our crops. No any other has such kind of silos. So we have all these kind of things. So the culture is very, very rich. It is only a Gbagyi man that has diverse musical instruments. If you talk of molo, you can talk of kaburu, you can talk of ashama, you can talk of that flute that they used to blow. Name them. Ayifu, they are there. Aganga, they are there. All these are cultural, musical instruments. If you move around, you discover that most of the other tribes is either they have only one, and it remains that way, not any other one again. And if you are to look at the instruments themselves, whenever they are playing it, it goes with some occupation. Maybe in terms of trade, if it is ashama, you know it is only when you are going to farm that you use ashama. You use it to motivate people to farm very, very well. If you are not strong, before you know you are down. And these were major ways of even checking lazy people on the farm. So now, the major reason why we are not united, they are not far-fetched. One of it, if you go to the hinterland, the way our occupation is equally, it's a major problem. That is one. Our elites, honestly, they are not helping matters. Infiltration by other tribes is still another problem. Then there is that issue of inferiority complex. A Gbagyi man has allowed himself to remain as an inferior person. Why? You know, the moment you allow inferiority complex to be in you, you're already defeated, even psychologically. And that's why you see that some people, if they happen to find themselves in a gathering like this, if you say, or you try to speak Gbagyi with them, because he has already defeated himself psychologically, that he happens to come from an inferior language, he will try to hide his identity. And I don't know why. So the other person that is proud of it, will he be happy with you? He will never be happy with you. Look at the area of religion again. Simply because this person is a Muslim, the other person is a Christian, you feel you are not together. Why should it be? After all, the two major religions we practice in Nigeria are Christianity and Islam. These two religions, they have preached that we should not despise one another. Like my own faith, which is Islam. There is a categorical verse in the Holy Quran. I will use English language to translate it. That is, we have created you into nations and tribes, not that you despise one another, but for you to understand and cherish one another. No more, no less. But yet, for those that feel they are Muslims and they are clergymen, instead of preaching this so that we could be united, no, why do you even have to associate with this person? After all, he's a Christian. Why must you associate yourself with this person? After all, he's a Muslim. Why should it be? We take the same, we breathe in the same air, we take the same kind of food. The way you walk, that is the way I walk. That issue of humanity, I think, should be the paramount point of focus. That person is a human being like you. Why do you despise him? And by the way, if God has wished today, he will have created Christians maybe in another planet, Muslims in another planet. The prophets that we follow, that we emulate, they lived together. They were living together like that. They were believers, they were unbelievers, but yet they were able to live in peace. Why should our own be different? And how can you even call yourself a a faithful person when you don't even like to see the face of another person? Will you say your faith is complete? Even if you are an idol worshipper. Because the idols will never take it light with you if you go contrary to their dictates. But why we as Gbagyi people don't want to embrace the reality? We are expected to live together in peace. Then, coming to the issue of our occupation, which I mentioned earlier, you can see our people migrating from one place to another. So, if you are far from me, how will I even reach you to really understand what is your problem? It's a strong factor as well. And sometimes again, because our people did not imbibe education early, those that are well educated and are coming as migrants, by the time they settle in a particular place, they bring issue of divide and rule. Don't accept what this person is doing, just to allow them, to enable them have a say within a particular community. We should be able to understand that. How can somebody appear before me and tell me that my fellow brother is against me? Even if he's against me, I have the privilege to contact him. What exactly is the problem? Before you know, I'm able to solve my problem, the problem internally. My problem should not be for an external person to come and mediate. I should be able to settle my problem internally. And that is the respect I will earn from anybody that's coming from outside. It's just like your house. For somebody coming from outside to come and settle your family, will that person look at you as a reasonable person? So these are the issues.